Underdog scramble. Shout out Byron. Let's work. Ha, ha, ha. Underdog scramble, watch the ball fly. Pin seek a birdie game, touch the sky. Drafting with perfection, every line is a blessing. Hitting birdies in succession, whole course, learn a lesson. Bunker to the cup, I'm gripping and ripping. Byron yelling, send it 808, straight dripping. Drafting with perfection.
That song just gets me rocking and rolling every goddamn time. Happy Back Nine Bets Day to all of you who celebrate, friends, family, and fans. We're out of the mix a little bit. Haven't said that too many times. So friends, family, fans, welcome back to another episode of Back Nine Bets. Episode 153. We are dealing with a scar tissue issue this week. Red Hot Chili Peppers coming in full force. We've got some scar tissue. We're going to remedy that. We've got reason to believe that things will change for this man, but we will get to him shortly. It is the American Express this week. We've got a 3-course rotation. We've got jabronis playing with world number ones. We've got people not showing up. We dodged some live bullets with Garrick Higo not going yet. May go still, may not. But he hasn't. That's good because your boy's got 29% exposure to him in baseball. And that's because I took my foot off the pedal for the final 40 drafts once we figured he might be good. Anyway, you're not here for baseball. Go check all that stuff out on my Back Nine Bets channel. I'll be putting out some content over there for you guys too. The show for now is brought to you by Pat Mayo Experience on the Pat Mayo Media Network. And we're also dealing with some Model Maniac Patreon stuff. So let me know in the comments below after the show's live. If you're watching this as a recording, let me know who's going to finish DFL this week at the American Express. We've got 156 people to choose from. Choose wisely. The first name to comment correctly wins a free month in the Model Maniac Discord and Patreon. All of that stuff we will be showing you here shortly. So I will bring on the screen. But before we do that, we've got to just chat a bit more about the course and the tournament. 3 different courses. You know what? We can bring up the screen because we can just chat about all of the stuff as we go through. So American Express models and cheat sheets. Get my fat face in the screen over here so we can sizzle what's cooking. I'm going to make a file, make a copy, completely crash my computer. That's fine. That's where we're going here. This is how you use the tool. This is how you use everything that I provide you in the Model Maniac Patreon. By the way, while this kind of goes, we didn't even say congratulations. We were wearing the $100 bill shirt. We cashed Chris Goddard up 11-1 after round 2 at the American Express at the Sony. Came in hot for us. We loved his performance in the wind, so we decided to continue taking a gamble on him, and he came through for us. Finished the top 4 each way on Saturday. Cashed that. Almost got the round 3 leader with him there at 10-1, and then I just knew over 2 rounds of golf at 11-1. Chris Goddard's got to take care of some business in Hawaii in those kind of windy conditions. So congrats to him. Congrats to us. We are on the board. We've had a Nico Echeverria missed putt in the playoff at the Sony last year to cost us an outright. We had a Ben On missed the same putt the year before versus G. Murray and Key Bradley. One's dead. One's the Ryder Cup captain. One is gone to live. This is the Sony. It's got all sorts of stuff for you guys. Crazy situations. But we've got our model pulled up. Over here, I've got notes for every single player in the field, all the way down to $7,500 Denny McCarthy with a couple other inserts here and there. We'll be continuing to go down that rabbit hole for all the Model Maniac Patreons if you do like that kind of stuff yourself. Checking in on the chat. Let's go, Chad Candles, my man. What's cooking? What's cooking? Congrats on the outright ticket. Money is nice. It was very nice. It's always nice to hit that outright because you wake up on a Friday on a Monday morning feeling invincible. In fact, I even bet all my bets that we're going to be going through here on Sunday night over at DraftKings when they put those up. So shout out to them for an awesome idea of getting that crap out there. Banner is not updated. Give me 2 seconds to update this ban. We are going with 153. We're not going to look at my micro model. We are going to look at a scar tissue issue. Scar tissue issue. Episode 153. Let us go. Okay, there we go. Now we are rocking and rolling. Check out the Model Maniac Patreon. We have got all of the different stuff for you guys over there. Let's take a look at some course history. You can see all the different finishing positions as you drill down. You can see their true strokes gained. You can see they're weighted based off how many rounds they've played. This is just the stadium course, which they'll be playing. The course rotations, yeah, they are. We are looking at Nicholas Tournament Course, La Quinta Country Club, and the Stadium Course by Pete Dye. So those are your three courses. These are your top options for a course history at these various venues that they'll be playing once in 3 days. So they play the Nicholas, they play La Quinta, they play Stadium Course. If we go over to the summary, I've pulled this all in for you guys. Over we've got, these are the guys playing La Quinta in round one, Nicholas in round one, Stadium Course. I'm going to call it the South Course soon. Stadium Course in round one. It's all of it over here for you with their strokes gained at the various respective golf courses that they'll be playing. So you can see all of that stuff. We have made notes in this column over here for some showdown options where you can find, okay, in round 2 at La Quinta, this guy's a beast. Let's take a look here. For instance, like Ben Griffin. Around Stadium Course, there's a couple guys that haven't really thrived on that venue, which they will be playing once before the cut and then again for a second time after the cut. So you got to be paying attention to all of that and taking advantage of it as you can. We are typically going to see in round 1, if we filter by the pricing over here, that you don't see a single stadium course apart from old Harry Hall going off early, because what the TV producers want to do is have all the guys going off of La Quinta, aka Scotty Scheffler and company. Going off La Quinta, they're going to play the Nicholas Tours. These NTs, the SCs, and the LQs are giving me a nightmare early, but it is what it is. They're going to be playing the stadium course on Saturday when everybody's watching, when there's actual cameras there and shot link and all of that stuff, because they just decide, no, going to go to California, spread out the field over 3 courses, but only give the fans 1 course worth of camera work and statistics, because it's the year 2026. We sent people to the moon 50 years ago, breathing in an area that lacked oxygen. Yet we can't just get some shot link stuff out there, some Californian retirees to go and volunteer their time over at these nice, amazing golf courses. But there's neither here nor there. Let's get back to what we were chatting about, talking about golf, blah-de-blah-de-blah. In this package of tools, models, and cheat sheets that you can find yourself, here is the micro model. We've got Scotty Scheffler showing up for us over here. When we take a look at this golf course, we are noticing that there's a multitude of different shots that are required at the stadium course. This micro model takes into account the stadium course, the average score on every hole, the fairway percentages, the green regulation rates. You can use this tool to kind of, what I've done is revamp up a little bit over here. You can see fairways over under, green regulations over under, scores over under at this venue. So you can use this to make some prop betting to see how that goes. There's also a par 3 competition. I think I was looking at like Alex Noren to win the par 3 tournament at 75-1 to have the best score on all the par 3s throughout the week. Seems interesting to me. If you want to take a look here, we can kind of go like this and you filter on the par 3s. And then we can take a peek and see if we can find, here's like Alex Noren for you. He's gaining 0.33 strokes. Scotty Scheffler is gaining 0.42 strokes on the field at those venues. If you think about it, Alex Noren, we can actually pull up his name and take a look at why he looks like that on these par 3s. This is how you use the tool. It's a pretty sweet tool. You can kind of piggyback off of each stat as a person drives it 261 yards on hole 2. Is he going to be hitting the fairway? Yes, he is. 4% more than average. So he doesn't hit it 67% of the time. He hits it 71% of the time because I'm using the fairway average for that hole and a person's ability to hit fairways in general. So we're going to be looking at that kind of stuff. When you take a look at Alex Noren, he's a great putter, not necessarily the greatest driver of the golf ball. What does a par 3 have? Not drivers. So that kind of makes sense. So fuck it. Alex Noren, par 3 winner, 75-1 is out there. Let's go hunt this down. Complete tangent to begin the show. But we don't want to be not betting these kind of things when we're just mentioning them. He makes way too much sense in that department. We'll see what he does for us. In fact, I don't think they even have those out anymore because they took away the first round. Oh, yeah, we go. If you go to tournament and click on par, leader, here's the winner for the par 3 tournaments. And Alex Noren is like all the way down here at 75-1. So let's go ahead and just throw a quick little tenner on him, little 5 action, get ourselves a couple dollars back. Let's just do 10. Why the hell not? Nice clean $750 to return Alex Noren, randomly winning the par 3s this week at 75-1. Total did not even have a banner for that. So that's just the situation here. If you take a look at the tools, let's take a look at American Express betting. If you watch the Fantasy Golf Degenerate show, you know that JT Poston is the only real OG gangster when it comes to betting at this golf course in the top 20 markets. So if you take a look at this tool, betting to win $100 every single time at this venue, guys like Sepp Straka have cashed 2 top 5s in the last 4 years. He is profitable in that market. Won the $100 back the 2 times you bet that, and then you lost your $6 and $3 to bet him at 16-1 and 33-1 for a top 5. By the way, the top 5s we have for this week are like 40-1. They are outright numbers. We are looking to take advantage of some long shots. We just need one of the 9 to get through the gate. So here is basic summary of what's happened. Obviously, JT Poston having finished top 20 at this golf course the last 3 times. Let's just go ahead and plug it on there. JT Poston, top 20 plus 290. Bob's your uncle. He is, how I try to explain this to Kenny, if you take a look at Xander, you take a look at JT, you take a look at John Rahm, they've only played you twice. So if you are that good of a golfer, you're going to cash those 2 top 20s for sure for Rahm and JT. They actually cashed all 3 of their kind of bets. But what it's telling you is that they've only played you twice. Another couple more times, 6 more times. Are they cashing it 4 more times? Probably not. Whereas JT Poston is at least giving us some good track record here to get over that $200 barrier. Guys that's sitting at like 188, they're going to have a 3rd round in there kind of thing. JT Poston, a massive track record at this golf course, 3 straight top 20s at this venue. If we go over to the models and tools, find JT Poston. I don't even know if I've written him up yet. I don't even know why I'm going to that. Let's actually take a look at, this is where we are. Yeah. Nope, we're not looking at him. I've added so many different colors and things to this model that I'm struggling to kind of figure out where we're going. But JT Poston at this golf course, from a DK perspective, he's kind of getting priced into that course history situation. It's been kind of interesting. He is an option that you can potentially investigate to take a look at live ads, because if you take a look at JT Poston, he actually, for someone that's finished inside the top 20 3 consecutive times at this event, the last 3 times he's played, he's actually lost strokes off the tee at this golf course. So he is the number 1 strokes gainer at La Quinta and the Nicholas course. But when it comes to the stadium, JT Poston is actually a struggle bus. Maybe it's because he lost 9 strokes in 2021. Not good. If we even take a look at the last 4, he's averaging a total of 1 stroke per round. So that's better, but not nearly as good as the 6s. I mean, he hasn't had a spike performance. Why am I in the actual Amex file? I need to get out of here so people don't get pissed off at me. Let's get these people back here. Let's get away from this. Let's go to our own file that we made and take a peek at the course history for whatchamacallit, for Poston. You basically get the point. We're struggling to see that upside, and that'll be his first round of the tournament. Sometimes you just commit and you just go, where's JT's got to be? There we go. So he doesn't check any boxes, unfortunately. We used the course history at this venue with a top 20, I believe, to kind of go that route. So I'm not sure if he's going to be rocking and rolling. 27% top 20 rate going over 2025 numbers, and Sony, that's what he's getting up to. So Plus 290 at a golf course like this seems a very fair bet. It's the only real placement we've made on a non-outright. We've got a couple outrights that we're going to be looking at going forward. So that's JT Poston for you guys. Whoop-de-doo. Here we go. Siwoo Kim, 170 plus. Goodness gracious, I clicked the wrong button. Siwoo Kim, 50-1 to win this golf tournament. The first of 9 bets. We are taking a peek at a Siwoo Kim Woo at this golf course. Let's pull up. Siwoo has thrived. 1 is his best finish at this golf course, aka a first place back in 2021. It's got progressively worse every single time. But we can ignore the 51st and kind of just remember that he is a monster when it comes to top 25ing. Ideally, we would like a top 20 with the 2 units we've placed on him with tires paid in full over at DK and having a good time there. I have a feeling DraftKings is going to be one of my favorite sports books this year. You never know why. But a little Easter egg for you guys if you're in the mood. Siwoo Kim, can he get bouncing back for us here? We are looking at a man that's played twice since the RSM. So we got a 3rd at the Australian Open and an 11th at the Sony. His last 4 starts have been top 20s, I believe. So there is just so much like about Siwoo Kim. If we go and take a peek actually at the Discord, we can see a Siwoo Kim right up for us, right over here. I can show you all the different stuff. Look at his recent finishes over here. Delightful. 3rd, 4th at the RSM, and then a 5th at the BMW Championship on the DP World Tour. All of these finishes, nothing worse than a T21 at the Genesis Championship, somewhere out in the big wide world. So Siwoo Kim, absolutely in great form, going to a golf course he loves. Top 20 for a 3.2 unit return, 3.4 unit return. And then we're going with Siwoo Kim for a outright at 50-1. We're not even doing the top 5 on him. That was like 8-1 plus 800. Not a fan of that number, considering we bet him to win the tournament, and I'm scared of his upside. What am I doing betting this number? It just felt right on Sunday night. I love the form entering a golf course like this. I'm not sure we've seen what kind of form has Siwoo Kim had entering the week of the Amex when he's played here. So the Amex, he would have gone, let's go top 2025. Amex last year, no top 20s. The Century missed the cut at the Sony, T32 at the Century, blah, blah, blah. Not good. 2024 entering the week, T25 at the Century, T42 at the Sony, T25 at the Amex, right? So you are seeing some better form entering the week, and that's kind of the general theme of, granted, he didn't need any form to win the Sony after the Sony finished 22nd. So that could be a better performance had he not won the Sony. Seems like he found his groove. The ball striking, delightful. In 2022, what form did he have coming into the Amex? We had very mediocre form, no top 20s again. So he's easily playing a lot better golf than when he won this tournament. Sorry, just playing a lot better golf. None of the finishes that he had leading up to this week were top 20s, I think. So, like, the golf is much better. I don't know why I'm going so hard at trying to convince you that he is playing much better golf right now. If we take a look at his strokes gained over the last little while, he finds himself not necessarily the greatest. You know, if you filter by the best guys here, Siwoo Kim takes a little while to show up. He's all the way down here, 17th in total strokes gained, but that's fine. Great course history, great form. Get Siwoo Kim in your lineups 50-1. By the way, most of these numbers are complete toast because we bet them on Sunday night. So I'm not going to lie to you. You easily can go and find yourself the best numbers in the Model Maniac Patreon Discord, because I can certainly guarantee almost that you're going to have some CLV. Usually on a Sunday when you're making these bets, they are the numbers that we're grabbing, typically shrink over the course of the week. I'm going to try and keep an eye out and see what Siwoo Kim's best number actually is out there at the moment, because it's important. 35-1 at DK. I bet him 50-1 at DK. So there's a 15-point value for you guys right there. Other books have Siwoo Kim at 28-1. So that's some solid value. I mean, that's a win already. You know, Siwoo Kim at 25-1 is a tough click, in my opinion. But that's fine. We are going to take a look at our next guy, Ryan Gerard, at a putting contest If we take a peek at what Ryan Gerard gets up to, what we can just do is if you are looking for Ryan Gerard and you want to find him by a random filter, just filter upside down. We're going to take a peek at some Ryan Gerard quite soon. Maybe not. Why am I'm so bad at finding names on streams. There he is, 116th. So Ryan Gerard over here, row 36. Not necessarily the greatest on easy courses. The main point I'm just trying to get across here in a horrible fashion with Ryan Gerard is taking a look at his recent finishes. Second at the Sony last week, and that's after finishing second in a playoff at the Mauritius Open down in Mauritius on the DP World Tour there to secure a top 50 OWGR ranking, which will get him into the Masters. And he has not taken his foot off the gas. Playing again this week, we are looking at a guy with 2 second-place finishes in his last 2 starts and giving us a lot of hope. With the way this man strikes the ball, it is delightful to see. We got a 51st place finish here for Gerard last year. Made the cut. That's good to go. 14th in this field in strokes gained approach and 39th in strokes gained off the tee. He's going to be hitting like a lot of fairways as well. Very good driver of the golf ball. 39th in the micro model rankings. A lot of that's going to happen because of the putting being quite poor. He'll be playing stadium course in round 1, which is fine. I like it. If you haven't got the numbers that you're looking for on these guys, maybe a Ryan Gerard, whose best number is a 66-1 out there right now, is going to struggle at the stadium course, because where the hell did I don't think I pasted it in. I can go to the Discord though and find it for us. Is it in the research? No, it's not. It's in the chat because we've got some fun charts I shared with everybody in here. Here we go. Okay. Popping out in the open browser. So here we have how this course has essentially played over the last couple of years. I could have shown you guys this earlier, but for those of you that stuck around for 22 minutes, here we go. Quinta has averaged a scoring average of 69. Nicholas Tournament, 69.3. And the Pete Dye Stadium course, 70.3. So over that period of time, only a 1-shot difference. But last year, this was the hardest any of these courses have played for Pete Dye Stadium course of them all. It was the 14th most difficult of the 14 instances. Quinta was left out in 2021. So there should be 15, but there's only 14 now. Was the worst one last year. The most difficult scoring conditions they've seen at the Pete Dye Stadium course. So maybe, I'm assuming the sports books use strokes gained versus score, because the score off of the stadium course is going to be horrific, but you can still shoot maybe a 68 around there. And in fact, I have the number of times a certain score was shot at this venue. If you take a look at Quinta, Nicholas, and Pete Dye Stadium, we don't have any 1%ers for Pete Dye at the 62 mark. We actually had a couple 60s. We had a couple 61s at the other 2 courses, but Pete Dye starts showing up a bit more routinely once we start getting to 63s, 9 under par, So you can see the majority of the percentages lie from 68 and beyond, double-digit wise, whereas Quinta, Nicholas, heavy double digits at 68 and continuing to have double digits at 67, 5 under par around those courses. So you can see the difference. You can see like the shift in green go from over here to like over here. Totally information that's available to you guys in the Model Maniac Patreon. So go check it out while you're over there. And then while I'm on this stuff, lots of promotion for you guys this week. Appreciate you guys taking some patience to listen here. The Model Maniac One and Done for members only in the Model Maniac Patreon. It's a great time to still get in because Dakaddy 88, shout out him, is rolling with JT Poston this week after having Siwoo Kim as the best option in the Model Maniac Discord last week. All of these guys, what is that, 23 people that entered, decided that they didn't want to make more than 220K. Hideki came in at 163. Nick Taylor at 163, Ben Griffin 111, Russell Henley 100. Like they've burnt Russell Henley for 100K. I burned Keegan Bradley for $0. But that's okay. So this week I'm going to be going with Sam Burns, friends. For those of you interested, one and done is going to be Samuel Burns. If we go over to the copy of the thing over here, you can go to the one and done tool and take a peek. I've got the weighted strokes gained at each event, I think since 2021 for you guys. How does this rank versus every golfer that's played at that event? So you can see, okay, who the heck is at the top here? Justin Thomas at the Waste Management Phoenix Open. I don't think he's ever won it, but he's got the best strokes gained at that golf course compared to everybody else. What is his waste management numbers? It's 4.4 strokes gained at the waste management for JT. How does this event rank versus his other scheduled events or other events he's played in the past? Waste management still number one in his schedule, obviously. Number two is probably around it is the Amex, which he should have been playing this week. And then number three is the Wells Fargo, which is typically played at Quail Hollow. And number four being the RBC Heritage, which he won last year. So that kind of stuff makes sense. And then you can see, okay, how does this average? We're going to use the averages of the two things I've just shown you. The average strokes gained at that event and how it compares to that golfer's schedule, and then how it compares to other golfers' strokes gained at that event. So it uses those two numbers to generate an average for us. So if you take a look at, it's like opportunity cost, like, are you going to take a guy whose strokes gained history is the best at that course, but there's also three other people that are better at that golf course normally than he is? I don't know. I've typically been pretty piss poor at one and dones, and I have got too much lack of impulse control. So I'm using this tool to kind of keep myself in the groove. So if we do use this tool, we can pull in guys here for the Amex, filter out guys that aren't playing this week. And we are pulling in random numbers because I've gone ahead and changed some formulas. So good to know. But what we're trying to figure out, we can do this the long way. The Amex, the best average output for us is going to be a Patrick Cantley. I really wanted to go Tom Hoge. I may still go Tom Hoge. Ben Griffin, Andrew Putnam, not playing, I don't think, this week. Sam Burns, there he is. Top 5 option for me. If we go over to, this usually pulls in, what did I add? 4 more for the power ranking. So if we added 4 more things there, do we add it to 8? There we go. Look at me. Look at me being a smart man here. So we're going to fix this as we go. We don't want any of these names. We want the actual power ranking for each guy. There we go. JT obviously not playing. We've got like 1,800 rows of stuff here. So you can, this is the power ranking. We want, apologies, people. We're going to go with one more number. Yeah, let's take a look. I'm a little rusty. If we change this to 49, does that bring in the correct number here for us? No, it doesn't. What? I don't even know what this is pulling in. Whatever, we'll figure it out after this. But basically what we're using is this tool to kind of figure out, okay, where are we going with these people at the Amex? Yeah, we are. We've got these guys at the top of the board. They obviously don't have starts. Those aren't playing. Xander Schauffele not showing up. Womp womp, rough time for the best ball squad with me having a lot of Xander, but it is what it is. So these are the names that you can kind of look after yourselves with. I'll figure out the ranking here for us to make sure that you're incorporating the actual model ranking each week and not just the past, like what this tool actually gives you from a baseline long-term perspective. There we go. We were talking about Ryan Gerard, weren't we? So we can expect him to play quite nicely after he shows up at the stadium course, if past track record is anything to kind of go off of for him. We don't know. Incredible ball striker, back-to-back second-place finishes. He's got a win on the PGA Tour at some random event, I think, or he's won something in the last 12 months. Ryan Gerard. Moving along swiftly to another 100-to-1 option in the form of Jacob Bridgman. Jacob Bridgman finds himself in our model because why? There's a lot that he does well, including having played quite nicely at the Sony Open last week, where he finished 4th. He's got a 39th and a 21st at this golf course, gains 0.3 strokes on average on easy courses. It's the worst metric he has of easy, medium, hard, and hellish. By the way, easy courses are courses that play 1.5 under par on average for the scoring average that day. So it's not using a tournament scoring average. It's using specific daily scoring averages, because sometimes you can have hard conditions if the wind blows and very easy conditions the other time, and it turns it into medium. You're looking for easy and hard. Separate those bad boys out. We're kind of getting granular when it comes to our data analysis. Taking a look at Ryan Gerard's starting on the Nicklaus tournament course, where he's typically gained a third of a stroke. Good to see. He likes the stadium course. This is Jacob Bridgman, apologies. Stadium course is his go-to. So not necessarily going to be looking to play him in showdown around the stadium course, but you get the feel. If there's a stadium course market for maybe end of round leader or lowest score on that, I don't think I'd even be going there anyway. But he does gain the most strokes for himself in round 2. So seeing that, maybe you can let him kind of go out smoothly at the Nicklaus, and then you can jump on him after that if he doesn't perform that great. Either way, Jacob Bridgman playing some good golf. If we take a look at his track record, obviously the Sony is his only start since the RSM, finished 4th there. So the rust is off. Got some good course history, trending in the right direction. 100-1 right now. Taking a look at Jacob Bridgman's current numbers out there, I spy Jacob Bridgman that's still 100-1 at DraftKings. So there's Jacob Bridgman for you. We're also going to be betting him top 5 at 15-1. The same thing with Ryan Gerard at 12-1 over there. What is Ryan Gerard's current odds? He is currently scrolling up 65-1, 66-1. So 2 big shifts over there. Jacob Bridgman's still the same price as we bet him on Sunday night. Good to see that. Ideally, you'd like to see it move, but, you know, a lot of check boxes for us here. He's finishing inside the top 5 at a 16% clip. That's pretty solid for somebody of his price tag, $7,400 as well. So we'll see what he does. Based off of his price tag in the model, there's a 16-point difference. DK's got his price ramped up a little more than we like, but it is what it is. I don't think I'm going to be playing him in DFS. Moving along, the name of the show, Red Hot Chili Peppers Scar Tissue. Patrick Rodgers, 140-1 to win the tournament. We're looking at a 25-1 ticket for a top 5. If we take a look at Patrick Rodgers' current odds, they are 80-1. 90-1 is the best number at BetRivs. So some nice CLV there again from Patrick Rodgers' side. 25-1 top 5 is a delightful number. I almost had Patrick Rodgers pulled up here until the ADD kicked in, but we are now back on track. Taking a look at Patrick Rodgers, it's been a disaster class at this event. 2 miscuts, a 40th and a 70th. It's like very difficult to finish 70th. It's like stone last after making the cut. So tough scenes there. But again, that 3rd place finish at the Sony Open looking delightful. And then I have a bit of trivia for you guys as well. Patrick Rodgers has been on the PGA Tour for 313 starts or 331 starts. Patrick Rodgers has never finished top 10 in back-to-back starts. Not back-to-back weeks, back-to-back starts. He did that at the Sony and the RSM. So his Sony 3rd place finish went in cahoots with a T7 at the RSM, missed the cut at the Bermuda, but finished 6th at the WWT in Mexico. So the Bermuda is like ultra wind dependent. It is very volatile golf course. It's a short, gimmicky, weather wave dependent situation. He missed the cut there, whatever. The 3 courses that he played, they were actually really, really predictive in nature, a little less volatile from weather. 7th, 6th, and 3rd. I mean, he is trending so goddamn hard right now. It is go time. I'm taking a shot in the dark with him. He doesn't check a single box for us in the easy scoring The micro model ranking, the recent form, the course history, total finishing ranks, and the model rank. None of that's really checking any boxes for him. But we are lightning in a bottle here with some seriously good recent finishes. 3 top 7s for him. Drives the ball fantastically. He's going to be gaining the 20th most strokes off the tee around this golf course at the stadium course. He plays his best golf on easy courses. So I think he's definitely going to find his groove around this venue. Then we take a look at how he's going to be starting. If you do not want to be betting him at the 80 to 1, 91 that he's out there, he plays the stadium course. He's typically pretty ass around there. Maybe he just kind of is neutral, gains 1 stroke on the field at the stadium, and you can pounce as he heads off to the Nicklaus and La Quinta. So ideally, La Quinta is a venue you're looking to play him in round 2. He gains 4 strokes in round 2. So you can kind of find your average of those 2 situations, and ta-da, you've got yourself a bit of a showdown gem for you over there in round 2 of Showdown. Patrick Rodgers, literally having the best run of results of his career. If you take a look at finishing positions, top 10s, 3 of them in the last 4 starts, has never had 2 top 10s in the last 2 starts of his career. Crazy stuff considering he's been on tour for 12 years. So Patrick Rodgers, friends, $7,100. He's going to be 9% owned. I'm assuming the ETR people, bros, are going to be all over that. They love themselves some Patrick Rodgers. I think this is going to come in the teens ownership-wise once people get a sniff of what he's been up to the last little while. So Patrick Rodgers, 140 to 1 to win this tournament and 25 to 1 to finish inside the top 5 this week. Let's take a peek at some comments over here. I believe, Kevin, this is my first time I've ever taken Patrick Rodgers as an outright. I'm for certain never took him last year, obviously. This is going to be where he wins. It'll be fantastic. I'm not washing. I'm going to wash this shirt after I wear it. I've worn it twice already this week, so we've got to go. What's up, Corey, my man? Happy New Year to you too, Christopher. Have a great one. The putting contest this week, yes, a little bit of, but at the same time, you got to be hitting all of your shots close. Hit your wedges tight. The reason John Rahm wasn't a fan of this golf course is because he's constantly leaving himself 20 feet with the wedge, 25 feet. Wasn't a very good wedge player. Isn't a very good wedge player. Too much spin. Spins it off the greens. The harder the greens, that's why John Rahm thrives so well. He hits that big high fade. A big high fade with a wedge is going to come zipping off the green. So he's not capable of softening those approach shots from inside 125 as much as he could be as a professional. He's obviously very good at it, but compared to his peers, not as great. So that's Patrick Rodgers. That's John Rahm. Moving along to our next bet. After Patrick Rodgers, we're going to go to a guy that's 150 to 1 with some of the best course history at this golf course you've ever seen. This man has never shot over par on a Sunday around the stadium course because I don't think Andrew Novak has ever played there on a Sunday before. Disgusting track record entering, his best finish being 4 consecutive missed cuts entering this week. Also finished dead last at the Euro, but this man is very capable of just spiking hard at any given point in time. He's got a 4% win rate. Obviously, I think that includes the Zurich, so that'll be there for him. Inside the top 5, 14% of the time. He's inside the top 20 while playing on the signature event status schedule, still getting inside the top 20 basically 4 every 10 starts. So if we go over to Andrew Novak and actually take a peek at his stuff over the last little while, did not play in Hawaii, so we don't have to pull up any of his stats there. Top 20 in 2024, delightful to look at. Top 20 at the RSM Classic. Top 20 at the FedEx St. Jude. Top 20 at the Genesis Scottish Open. So 3 of his last 6 have cashed top 20s. He has been plus 350, plus 400 at the Open Championship for a top 20. Plus 275 at the FedEx St. Jude. There's only 70 people. Plus 275 at the RSM. Why are we getting a plus 490 top 20 bet for Andrew Novak? That's a crazy number. If we go over to his actual chart over here, you can see we might even actually have. We can only have to scroll down. Come on, Byron. You can. Oh no, I missed him. Oh no, this is going to be Novak, so we are way too short. Taking a look at his overall returns for us, I mean, just historically, if you've bet Andrew Novak top 20 since he showed up on tour basically in 2019, I don't know, maybe he's been on here for longer, but whatever. Since 2019, Andrew Novak has cashed you to bet $100 every single time he plays in the top 20 market. He's returned $886 for you. It's been really, really impressive. So he got in a nice stretch of top 20s over here in some big tournaments, lost his groove towards the end. I'm pretty sure his baseline is going to be good enough to show up here. The course history is pathetic, so I understand that. But 5-1 for a top 20, who gives a shit? We are going there. That plus 2,000 is a top 5. That's a typo. Apologies there. Moving along. So Andrew Novak, horrible course history, but we are still trusting in the talent versus the course history. Even though, what is the course fit for this man? Course fit. Where's my micro? 81st. So not good, but it is what it is. Sometimes you make kicks that you can't necessarily explain. This is a number grab. I'll just be honest with you. Number grab. Alrighty. Any read on DP guy like Daniel Brown or Too Little Data tomorrow? Yeah. The modeling is hard with them because they don't have strokes gained. They don't have any of that stuff. So it is a little tricky. But you can see easy scoring conditions at that golf course. You can see the round-by-round stuff, so you can use them for showdown quite nicely. And just if they've played well recently, you can take a gamble on them out here. So we do have, I think, a couple DP World Tour guys going on in the card. Chris taking a run at Siwoo Kim. Let's go. He really likes this week. So do I. I like him a lot. Like the Novak call, bad track record, but yeah, he's woken up. You know, mate, he's a different guy. So we'll see. Kevin's saying he's a huge Jason Day fan and Willie Z. Both. Kevin must work in like physiotherapy. I actually know what you do working, but are you a physiotherapist on the side? Because those two guys must give you some good business for them both not necessarily ever finding themselves healthy enough to continue playing golf all year round. Jason Day, in his old age, though, has changed his swing and things are getting a lot better for Jason Day. Moving along to the next bet. We've got a lot of these. Let's go ahead and throw in a Michael Brennan, 250-1. Ridiculous number. Michael Brennan right now is 55. That's Michael Thorbjornsson. If we go to the next guy, Michael Block is 500-1. Michael Brennan, 125-1. The best number out there right now. Go and grab that still. 125-1 is still a very affordable price for somebody that won the Utah Bank Championship, then won 3 times prior to that on the Latin Americas Tour. This will be his 5th win in 6 months. He does it extremely well. He wins repeatedly. Michael Brennan, when you take a look at his finish rates over the last little while, 10% win rate is bananas in 2025. Yes, there's a lot of America's Tour stuff on there. Granted, this also it actually looks like it's just including his PGA Tour starts. So he didn't have too many, and it waters them down, blah, 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 whatever. Hasn't played this golf course before. We had a horrific time at the Sony Open. I think he shot 5 over par the first day. Gained a stroke on the field the following day. So that is good. Don't think the Sony Open, although Chris Gotterup absolutely dismantled it off the tee, but he drove it well, drove it straight as well. Brennan, I don't know if he's got the accuracy that Gotterup does, but he definitely has the distance. You know, if we take a look at what his distance number is, he's 5th in the field in total distance at this golf course. He should be gaining the total most strokes off the tee, given his prowess with the driver. But the rest of the game, with limited data, not looking the greatest. So we kind of gave him a no return there. He'll be playing round 1 on the Stadium course, La Quinta, and then the Nicholas course after that for Saturday. So Michael Brennan, perennial winner on the PGA Tour already and the Americas Tour. And he's 250-1, 125-1 right now for those of you looking to be grabbing him while watching the show. 251 was available to those of you in the Model Maniac Patreon. So shout out to y'all for supporting me over there. Then we're going to dive into our next guy, Tom Hoagie. We're going to be rocking the ladder with Tom Hoagie. Obviously, numbers missing because this was a complete misprice. Tom Hoagie at 500 to 1. I actually found a 600 to 1 as well on him. Grab that. I think there's still a 400 to 1 available on Tom Hoagie the last time I checked. 350 to 1 at DraftKings. Still ridiculous number. Why would you have a number like that on somebody who, may I mention, finished 40th at the Sony Open? I know that's not the greatest thing you ever want to hear, but he's been playing some really bad golf lately. The Sony Open can help him find some momentum. 2021 at this venue finished 99th. 2022 finished 2nd, 32nd, 17th, 29th. Look at this course history here for Hollywood Hoagie. It's delightful. It's delightful. Delightful. A 2nd, 32nd, 17th, and 29th. So we are going at Tom Hoagie with a 13 to 1 top 20. Scotty Scheffler is plus 350, plus 250 to win the tournament. Tom Hoagie, by the way, in the last 4 years has one more top 10 and one more top 5 than Scotty Scheffler at this golf course. And I'm not comparing the two, okay? But let's just pull it up because Tom Hoagie shot the same as Scotty Scheffler in 2024. So they kind of both did their thing. I believe Scotty had a top 20 or top 10 in his first appearance here, maybe in 2020. So that's what Scotty Scheffler's dealing with. But Tom Hoagie, if you're just taking a gamble on someone with good course history, we might have found a bit of form after a break. 500 to 1. You put $5 down on a 500 to 1 ticket. What's that, $2,500? It's like, you know how quickly that can change for you. So when it comes to situations like this, we bet $5 on a 100 to 1 ticket. And I also bet $5 on anything above that. 350, 600 to 1, I'm betting $5 because the difference between $5 and $1 isn't that big of a deal, in my opinion, when you consider the difference between $500 and $2,500 being the outcome. The chances that a 600 to 1 ticket hits is what? 350 to 1 now. Some places have him at 160 to 1. Still, not likely. But there's trails and crumbs this man's been giving us to potentially sneak in. Sneak us in, baby. Let's go. So Tom Hoagie, 600 to 1, 500 to 1, 50 to 1 for a top 5, 25 to 1 for a top 10, and 13 to 1 for a top 20. $5 on all of those. 13 to 1 for a top 20. He's come pretty close the last 4 years, cashing 2 of them. So maybe he's found some groove. Maybe he hasn't. I don't know. He's a new dad. Shout out to the new dads out there. Life takes a quick change and change of pace. And as a result, you know, Tom Hoagie's seen his approach play actually fall off the map. He's 40th in approach play, which in past years, he was number 2 to the guy that's number 1 above him. Yeah. So things have taken a turn, but you never know. You never know. Maybe the putter shows up this week. Maybe it does. I don't know. Speaking about putters, S.H. Kim. My man. This guy balled out at the Sony. He's a fantastic putter. You know what I hate about Google Sheets is that if you are zoomed in on the sheet, you're also zoomed in on the stupid-ass box that shows up here that you got to zoom out so I can see what I'm typing in here. Sorry. S.H. Kim. We've got a million Kims, by the way. Let's pull them all up. Siwoo, Tom, SH, Mike, and Chan. So, the highest ranked for me, and likely the only one I play, apart from maybe Michael Kim in some showdown at La Quinta in round 2. We can chat about that after we get through all our bets. But when we are taking a look at Siwoo Kim, we are looking at SH Kim, actually. ADD moment there. Hardcore ADD moment. Hoagie mania, baby. Let's go. Hog the hoagie at the Kogi. If we can hog the hoagie at the Kogi, then we are looking good. Imagine Tom Hoagie rattling off a couple. I had a lot of auto-drafted Tom Hoagies and Colin Morikawas, which I thought was going to work out well. Turns out Colin doesn't even know how to putt anymore. Still, everyone thinks just because of a change of the year, change of golfer, once a bad putter, always a bad putter, unless your name is somebody using a broomstick. Okay, moving along. S.H. Kim, taking a look at his driving distance at this golf course. It's slightly above PGA average over here. Nothing necessarily going to pop hard for him. He doesn't have a lot of data. So when you're seeing minus 222 over here, it typically means it's a default number. I'm just putting it in there because there's no data for this man. We'll be starting off at La Quinta and the Nicholas course in round 2, Stadium course in round 3. Once we get first round leader numbers on this man as well, I will be taking a peek at those numbers on the Corn Ferry Tour in 2025. He gained almost 2 strokes per round in round 1. And I believe if you take a look at what he got up to at the Sony, we can take a look at this man's T13 at the Sony, which was delightful. 63 in round 1, gained 5.8 strokes. Gained barely any more strokes over. Like that was most of his scoring, but that was when the conditions were the easiest as well. But again, 1 stroke off of Nick Taylor and Kevin Roy, who were first round leaders. We're going to only have 52 people playing each course. Fantastic math on the run there by me. So he only has to beat 51. Again, fantastic math there. Other people. If we take a look at this, I mean, he's gaining 2 strokes per round in round 1. And then in round 3, he kind of bounces back after a bit of a lull in round 2. You know, makes a lot of sense seeing what we saw at the Sony. Maybe that translates to the PGA Tour. Maybe it does not. We've obviously got a very similar situation here to Cristobal del Solar. And if he's 600-1 to win the tournament, 40-1 for a top 5. 40-1 for a top 5. Michael Brennan, by the way, we got him at 30-1. He closed at 33-1 to win the Bay Current. 4 starts later, he's 30-1 to finish top 5. I understand Scotty Scheffler, I understand Russell Henley, but that seems ridiculous. So some weird numbers out there this week that we took advantage of. S.H. Kim, I'm not even going to search by, I have to search by the Kims because they don't have him listed as S.H. Moving along, S.H. Kim's current situation is 250-1 at DraftKings. You can find that number out there for you. So go grab yourself an S.H. Kim, who, like we mentioned, 13th at the Sony. And then if we take a look at how he actually did that, it was with a lot of putter. A lot of putter. Look at this. Gained 1.3 times 4 is 5.2. So 5.2 strokes of his, 6.5 came from the putter. And this is a piece of shit putting contest, right? Per John Rahm. So if he can do it for us, we are looking at him to do that for us. Again, ISCO Championship, putted his brains out. Anytime you're looking at his stats, again, ISCO Championship last year, putted his brains out, gained over a stroke. Sorry, that's the same tournament. When he was on the PGA Tour in 2024, he went to the Corn Ferry Tour in 2025, right? Got demoted and got his way back onto the tour. So that's good to see. Putting, fantastic. You just take a look at his career summary here. It's just a very good putting performance. Totally. So now that he's come back from the KFT, good to see the form he's been found. Some solid performances for him on the KFT. Couple top 4s here and there. Won the Advent Health Championship back in May. So we'll see. Maybe he gets off to some fast starts. All right. So that concludes our bets. We're going to go through them real quick. And then we can do some deep dives with you guys. From the top, hit the like, hit the subscribe. We'll do a little giveaway after this. Siwoo Kim, 50-1. Siwoo Kim, 2 units. 2 units on a top 20 at plus 170, ties paid in full. We're not doing the top 5 on him. Top 20. Ryan Gerard, 100-1, 12-1, outright top 5. Jacob Bridgman, 100 to 1, 15 to 1. Patrick Rogers, 140 to 1, 25 to 1. Andrew Novak, top 150 to 1, 20 to 1 for a top 5, 5 to 1 for a top 20. Ties not paid in full over there at FanDuel, getting the better number. Tom Hoagie, 50 to 1. Sorry, 500 to 1, 50 to 1, 25 to 1, 13 to 1. Top win, 5, 10, top 20. All four of those. Michael Brennan, 250 to 1, 30 to 1. S.H. Kim, 600 to 1, 40 to 1. JT Poston, the only top 20 on a non-outright bet is JT Poston plus 290 for a top 20 to win ourselves. I think I put a unit on that to win 2.9 or what the hell. I can't even remember what the actual number was. Maybe to win 1 unit, maybe two. I think it was just to win 1 unit. I'm not going. Nope. Breaking 100, I put 1 unit on him because it's the best bet you can make at the Amex. And he's just one of these sticky course guys. All right. So let me take a quick peek at the model. Find a stat. Get your fingers ready, people. I'm going to be asking a question here shortly, which I have not prepared, obviously. And I'm going to ask you who it's not going to give you the right. I'm struggling to find the right question to ask you guys here. All right. So let's go with. Let's go with name me over the last couple years who has the best strokes gained course history at this venue. Obviously, if you're a Model Maniac Patreon member already, you've got the tool. You know exactly what the answer is. I'm not going to give it to you. You've got all those free contests in there. It's also a worse contest for you guys. So I want to know who in this field has the best course history here. All right. I'm taking a peek at the course history for y'all. Finding a couple names based off of the different tournaments that we've got. And I'm willing to be lenient because the guy I had in mind is just a stadium course guy. Sam Burns has got the 4th best course history at this venue. There are 3 guys ahead of him, including Tom Hoagie as the 3rd option. Obviously not going to be the number 1. I will say that it's a man that you wouldn't be shocked to see up there when it shows up. It's somebody that constantly licks their lips, if that helps you guys get it in you. If I'm not getting anything, it's not Ben Griffin. Ben Griffin shows up, what, 8th? Come on, Dwenglish, you've got this. Seems like you're the only one firing off at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 3:30 in the afternoon. I don't know about this time. I need to figure it out because the child comes home in 30 minutes. So got to get this done before then. Being a dad's more important than doing a show at 6 o'clock at night here in Iowa. Got to try and get it done before she gets home because you don't get to spend much time with her in the afternoon. I'm just going to give you the free month, my man. Hit me up on X. We'll have to get the chat fired up a little better next time. It is an hour into the show, but I appreciate you coming along on the ride for this long. So the answer is Patrick Cantley. Checks a lot of boxes. He's phenomenal on La Quinta. He's pretty good around the Nicklaus tournament, and he's also pretty damn good around the stadium course, but not nearly as good as the others. Who I had in mind was Alex Smalley, who has been phenomenal around this stadium course. Actually lost some strokes at the Nicklaus tournament course over the years. So it's kind of interesting. This will now bring us to the point in the show where we kind of, are there first-round leader markets out there? This would be so much fun to take a peek at the first-round leader market and make a couple first-round leader bets as we go. I don't see. Is there first round leader markets at FanDuel? No. I don't think so. If we take a look at, yep, nothing there. Is it part of the schedule maybe? No, unlikely. Womp womp. 2 balls. They've got two balls out there. They haven't had that yet for round 1. Okay, so we can take a peek at a couple of those. Interesting. Where is the first round leader markets, people? That's a disappointing situation, yeah. But it is what it is. Whatever. We can still figure it out. We can still go through some stuff and take a peek at some showdown options for you guys. And then go from there. Because what I love to do is in the Patreon, we're going to be taking a look at round 1. Let's just do that. Let's take a look at some round 1 viable options in the Discord that I dropped. So I'm going to hide the majority of this stuff since it's not super applicable to Showdown. Don't really care about the more recent starts here. We can keep Sony in there. And then if you got any guys you want me to deep dive for DFS week long as well, let me know. I'm going to take a peek at some round 1 Showdown stuff, yeah, as we go along. And we can filter by DK price and kind of see how things go. We don't want too many. I don't really care about the best finishes yet either. It's just round 1 on that course. And then we get rid of all of these things. We're going to hide a lot of stuff. But now we've got pretty much what we want on the screen. I'm going to also hide the value stuff so we can get this all up here. Okay. We are hiding a lot. Hide and go seek this week on Back 9 Bets. I like to just have it perfect for us, but it's not looking likely. Maybe I can hide a couple. Can I hide some tee times? They're not important, huh? There we go. All right. And we can hide this column. Woo, we're hiding a lot of stuff now. There we go. Nice, nice, nice. Post and deep dive would be awesome. Don't quit production. Must not have been here for the majority of the show because we did a JT Poston top 20 bet already for you. I think we actually did it at the beginning of the show. So it was the first. Once you see this on there on the screen, go watch this afterwards. I've got all the JT Poston stuff for you there already. Not going to go through that again. What we do have here is a round 1 power rating that we've put together based off of the course they're going to be playing. You're going to see the power ratings are not going to have any guys playing the stadium course until the very end over here. So basically not going to be looking at anyone in round 1 Showdown at a golf course, despite, I mean, if you want it to be really, really cute, taking a look at guys playing in round 1 at the stadium course, you can find some of the best options at that venue, gaining over a stroke over there. The only person that gains over a stroke in round 1 and has gained over a stroke at the stadium course is Brian Harmon. So that's interesting. I would love to know how that actually looks when it comes to his weekly stuff. Is he always good around there, or is he just consistent, or did he have a big day? At the stadium course, he's gained strokes every single time he's played. He gained 2 strokes in 2021, 3.3 in 2022. Hasn't gained more than a stroke in the last 2 times he's played the stadium course. There might be made cuts involved there. There might not be. We don't actually know because I don't have the finishes at this venue, so we can also see that. Brian Harmon did have a couple miscuts in the last 2 years, so that makes sense. But this is just an example. I do not want you to go out there and play guys on the stadium course because we've already showed you it's not good. It's not easy to find good stadium course numbers. It's never been a top option in the last couple of years. There's usually in the last 2 years, these two courses have played significantly easier than the stadium course. So no, don't do it. I mean, if you're looking for the upside over here, like, again, we went through this earlier. There's 61s, 62s, and 60s at all those other two courses, whereas the stadium course doesn't have any of those showing up. Maybe one. I think there was one or two, over here. So nothing crazy. Trying to find that guy is even more difficult than actually scoring on that course. So just some stuff we want to mention as we're going through all of this, checking out some names. So we definitely don't want any round one stuff. We don't even have to filter it out because it's not even going to show up on our screen because it's so far down there for pretty much everybody. So the best option in round one, about $2,000 per power rating point for Scotty Scheffler at $14,300, more expensive than he was in week-long. Scotty Scheffler in round one is a freakazoid. 3.8 strokes gained in round one. If you take a look at what he gets up to at the majors, it's also like bananas good. He's 2.3 strokes in round 4 and 2.5 in rounds 2 and 3 is like absurdly good, but he really gets shit done in round 1. 3.8 strokes for Scotty Scheffler in round 1. Then we're going to go and play La Quinta, where he's not necessarily thrived in the past, but again, this is Scotty Scheffler. Now, the thing is, 14.3 is goddamn expensive. I think trying to find the 5 other guys is very difficult. But for Showdown, you never know. Low-price guys can beat Scotty Scheffler any given day. So trying to force him in there in Showdown, I prefer to go to Scotty Scheffler if I was playing him, going to the week-long stuff because that's where his consistency and ridiculously high floor obviously is going to come in. Like you can have one bad round and still win the tournament. Whereas if you're on Showdown, having one bad round with Scotty Scheffler can really hurt you, but he doesn't give you that many bad rounds. Anyway, so that's what's going on there. You've got a plus 300 on Scheffler at Kalshi. All the way out in Mexico, my man. Fun stuff. Retail Ripper in the house as well, saying he's got a Team Bridgestone. The Velo Surge. Apparently, he's got a theory on the Bridgestone ball presenting immense upside to those playing it in 2026. So, know that for you guys. Moving along. So, if we're not playing Scotty Scheffler in round 1, the next best option is Ben Griffin, who gains 2.1 strokes in round 1. By the way, Russell Henley in round 1 gains as many strokes as Scotty Scheffler does in round 4. Interesting, hey? You aren't going to be the best in every single category, but there are some guys that kind of rival that. So Russell Henley at $9,500 gets to play La Quinta. Not necessarily the greatest results for him at La Quinta, but still a viable option. We are still looking for some guys like Ben Griffin. He plays Nicklaus tournament, which he's also done poorly at. So maybe he plays better, maybe he doesn't, but it would be nice to have had Ben Griffin be a round 1 guy and a La Quinta start, but he's not. Let's see if we can find some names that at La Quinta we can actually just filter by our best options over here. You know what? We're actually going down the ratings because that's what it's doing. It's using round 1. It's using easy scoring. It's using recent form. It's using course history, all to kind of generate a rating over here for round 1. By the way, in rounds 2, 3, and 4, we have got the world for you guys. Round 2, Showdown info. Round 3, I didn't change this to round 4, but it is all available to you guys as we go along. This will all be updated once we get the information, once we get, the old info that's still in there from last week out of there. Justin Rose in round 1. He typically gains over a stroke in round 1 and then loses his shit in between that and Sunday. Loses strokes round 2 and round 3 and then gains more strokes than he does any of the other days on a Sunday once he realizes, you know what? I'm actually playing quite poorly. So let's get it figured out. La Quinta with Rose is a perfect storm, friends. $7,900. He gains over 1.1 strokes in round 1. he gains over basically 1.5 strokes in La Quinta, on La Quinta. If we take a look at the course rotations for Rosie, why does the model? That's a good point. Let's take a look. So if we just do La Quinta, we've got ourselves a 2.7 strokes gained average for JT Poston weighted. Obviously, if you have all 5, you get exactly what your average is. If you have only 4 or 5, you get weighted down, because I don't want someone to, like Patrick Cantley, or who's this person, Nick Dunlap, to have a 4.7 strokes gained on La Quinta when he's only played 2 rounds of golf around there. So these are weighted down. If you have a high strokes gained on any of the courses, it means you've played that course probably more than 4 times at least. So La Quinta options are Justin Rose right over here. He's 2, gee whiz. He's only got, and that's only because he's got 2. So he's gained over 3 strokes in his 2 La Quinta starts. 70, whatever 100 a years, $7,900. Love it. Why does he pop so hard in the micro model? That I actually even haven't investigated that yet. I'm not betting Justin Rose in any capacity. I'm just kind of playing him in DFS. What pops hard? He doesn't drive the ball that accurately. 67th in the field in driving distance, driving accuracy, but 30th in the field off the tee, 12th in the field on approach. That's likely got to do with the fact that he's absolutely just balling it out. What is he very good at? He's good from the range of 150 to 200. He's gaining 0.35 strokes in that department. He's going to have 7 shots from 150 to 200. It's interesting. It's interesting to see gaining across the board. It's good to see that. But you can see, 100 to 150 with the wedges, not necessarily the greatest. He's only gaining like 0.02 per wedge shot. But inside 100, he's gaining a lot, which is nice. And from 150 to 200, he's gaining a decent amount. He's gaining 0.05 basically per round, 0.04 on those 150 to 200 yard shots, which he's got 7 of, 0.05 or whatever. Where's that? Yeah. So approach yardage, 165. See, the 03s are where he's got these 165s, 158, whatever. So definitely got to do with the mid irons, 150 to 200. And then the short game is just dialed. He's usually a very good putter. I think with as many greens as we're hitting here, we're getting like 67% green regulation rates. And that includes, I need to fix the par 5 numbers. It's giving him a 39% green regulation rate on the first hit. But I use that to calculate if he's chipping or putting on his third shot on a par 5 more often than not. So that's how I use that. I'm going to change this formula to change the fairways over under, because he should have green regulation, over under. So there's Jay Rose for you. I think this makes a lot of sense given the fact that he's going to be in a perfect range for a lot of putting and a lot of 150 to 200 numbers where he kind of thrives. If we go over to the strokes gained approach bucket over here on the tool. Oh my God. Okay. So much housekeeping. We only want guys that are playing this week as well. So it's going to use rankings for pretty much everybody playing, because we don't have 203 people in this field, but you get the gist. So it's kind of ranking people according to how they find themselves versus everyone on the PGA Tour. And from 150 to 200, let's see who checks some boxes. Justin Rose. Yeah, he's 56th on the PGA Tour. He's just solid. At this venue, we are seeing a lot of shots from across a variety of approach proximities. And there's not he typically struggles out the rough inside 150. And we're not going to be having that much here, because the fairway accuracy percentages at this golf course are pretty high. On average, you're hitting 60% of your fairways. Justin Rose hits what? 61% of his fairways, slightly above PGA Tour average. So a lot of shots coming from the fairway, which he thrives at. So stay out the rough. If he drives it well, I think he's going to have a good week, so long as the putter doesn't misbehave for Rosie. I'm in. I'm all in on Justin Rose. What are we, we're going to mark this. How do we mark this? Do we go with, let's go with the rating so we can find our ratings later. Let's make our guys purple or pink, since we are using the pink tab. That's actually easier to see as well. So that's a nice combo. So Justin Rose, a great round one option for first round leader and for showdown on La Quinta. Then we're going to take a peek at the next guy on our list. Patrick Cantley will be playing the Nicklaus Tournament course in round one. It's not his best. La Quinta's his best, but he's still pretty solid on this golf course, gaining 1.9 strokes to the field. Round one is not necessarily the greatest round one guy, gaining 0.8 strokes on the field on average in 2025, while in round 2 and 3, he's gaining 1.2 and 1.8. So significantly better as the week goes on until it gets to Sunday. Then he just shits the bed and loses, ground on the field by just getting stuck in neutral, gaining 1.2 strokes on average. It explains why he hasn't won a tournament, but it also explains why he's got ridiculously good and consistent metrics. So Patrick Cantley, going to be a very popular option, $10,200 playing Nicklaus Tournament course. The strokes gain numbers are pretty good on that venue. I do think Patrick Cantley playing the stadium course on round 2. And La Quinta on round, oh baby. So like this is like the way we're going to be going for Patrick Cantley. On La Quinta in round 3, where he does the majority of his damage. Now, is this round 3 different because it's still pre-cut, or does he play well after a cut? But granted, he's been playing a lot of signature events, so a lot of those numbers aren't even with cuts. So let's just assume that he's going to play well on Saturday. And he does well on La Quinta. He's got fantastic course history there. Let's go for round 3. Look, Patrick Cantley, we'll figure that out as we go down the board, Pearson Coody next up. What is he going for? Nicklaus course. He's lost a bunch of strokes there before. Not good, but very good in round 1. So if you're willing to just ignore course history, he's got it going. If we take a look at, so I don't mind. God damn it, Phoebe. Pearson Coody, we've spoken about. Siwoo Kim, round 1, playing the Nicklaus course, gaining over a stroke, but doesn't necessarily thrive in round 1. So we'll leave him alone a little bit. Still good course history, great course fit. Slow starter, like we saw last week. He gained 1 million strokes on the back 9. He was 4 over par through the first 9, I think, on Thursday at the Sony. So tough scenes there. If we're looking at some La Quinta names, we have got some nice numbers here. We have got some nice numbers there. So Matt Kuchar around La Quinta at $7,200. Love that. Keith Mitchell around La Quinta, $7,400 for round 1 showdown. 2 names I kind of fancy a lot. Okay. Haotong Lee is my round 1 guy. Doesn't have any La Quinta stats. Played okay. Nothing too crazy. I think I'm still going to be taking a peek at him. Just give him a shot. Playing La Quinta, easy course, great in round 1 scoring conditions. Has not played yet. I'd imagine he does just fine. How does his course fit situation look? 40th in the field. So limited data as well as a DP World Tour guy. We are making our way to Jason Day. We'll get there. And Johnny Kiefer as well, boys. Hang in there. So some other names for round 1 showdown. Here's Adrian Sadier, who does ridiculous work before the weekend, gaining 1.8 strokes on the DP World Tour there in round 1. We'll be playing La Quinta, $6,400. Let's give a gamble on this man. Great round 1 stuff. Cheap, affordable, low owned, great opportunity to go and play La Quinta in round 1. Then we're going to take a peek at Chris Kirk on the Nicklaus. Not ideal. whatever, solid option, kicking out some good numbers. Just does his thing, whatever. Rasmus Højgaard, a round 1 guy. Round 1 and round 3 typically finds his groove, gains over like half a stroke more than rounds 2 and round 4 for Rasmus. He plays the Nicholas tournament. He's going to be playing it for the first time. He's explosive as shit. I think he's totally cool to kind of go at. Anything under $2,000 over here means it's pretty good value. You know, I mean, Scotty Scheffler's up there at $14,000 and he's $2,100. So anything under $2,000 means that you're getting some good price versus power rating over there for you guys. I've been very much contemplating Ludwig. He comes out the gates hot and he goes to a very easy course on La Quinta. $2,000 on the button. You know, I think there's obviously some value to be had around these guys that are much cheaper, but I like what's going on here when it comes to Ludwig. And I think, you know, people are kind of, I might just go to him in general with one lineup at 10-3 for the week. I think the less you're chipping, the better. I mean, if we take a look at this course fit model for Ludwig, he's pretty solid when it comes to easy scoring. This hellish conditions largely comes from Augusta, where he's thrived at, and they play over par there pretty much every single year, every round. Off the tee, he's 10th in the field, and he's actually entering the week with worse strokes gained putting stats than he is around the green, which is interesting. Maybe that's just got to do with the course itself, but is his putting worse than his around the green play? It's better. So what is going on here? Is it just the course that's kind of making him look that way? Been putting well. Actually been chipping a lot better lately to end the year. Was struggling immensely to begin. And then found some consistency. That's good. And, you know, like this, when you're seeing like thick chunks of blocks like this, that's good. Means the guy's found his groove again. So consistency is there. The floor is there from Ludwig. You can almost be assured he's going to give you a top 25 to some capacity more often than not. He's interesting. He's also very solid in round 1. He gets to play La Quinta. I think if we're going to be playing a superstar up top there, I'll take Luddy for round 1. Does good work in round 1. All right. Keith Mitchell, we've spoken about as well, blah, blah, blah. Let's move along to some other guys. We spoke about Rasmus, liked him. We just hit F4 on this one, change it to pink. Chandler Blanchet, I mean, this guy was just super solid on the KFT nonstop. We're going to be doing SH Kim as well, obviously, with his good round 1 stuff. Chandler is just so solid across the board. He's a $6,300 option and will be 2% owned. On the KFT, he was the second best guy behind Johnny Kiefer. Why not? You know, like if you're looking for a $6,300 guy, he's very affordable. He's shown you the pedigree for what he can do in round 1, not lose 5.5 strokes at the Sony. Gosh darn it. But get it together there. So we've got SH Kim and Chandler doing their thing, both going very to a grad. That is a 11-shot difference between the two of them. That's absurd. Just shows you golf. Moving down some other names, we are looking at, so those are Nicholas tournament guys, nothing doing too crazy. La Quinta for Sam Burns. Stadium course is his jam. Actually, Sam Burns on La Quinta, not as good as you'd imagine, considering he does other things very, very well. I mean, if we have to scroll down here, I mean, yeah, he has Sam Stevens, who shows up before Sam Burns. Where the hell is Sam Burns at? Did I miss him again? Right in front of me. Yeah, I mean, Sam Burns in his last 3 appearances at La Quinta has not gained more than 1.5 strokes, which is insane to think about. So a round 1 showdown potential fade candidate. I know it's literally only 3 rounds of golf that we're using to determine what's going on here. But again, these guys are weird. They're sticky. If you want to glom onto some sort of a metric, that's there for you. Not necessarily the greatest in round 1. I can assure you that I will be playing him in round 2. When he does his thing in round 2, it's easily his best round of the 4. And he gets to play round 2 at the Nicholas tournament course where he's gaining like 2.5 strokes. on that venue. So love that for Sam Burns. So I'm going to play a bit of a patience game with him. Hopefully we can hang on and he has a medium round around La Quinta. I have him as my one and done. No other capacity for him. Not even going to be playing him week long. Just showdown round 2. I think that's where we're going to be going with Sam Burns exposure. Akshay Bhatia, round 1 juggernaut, plays La Quinta, has lost half a stroke at La Quinta. Whatever. Let's go to the half a strokers over here. Akshay Bhatia only lost 2.5 strokes in 1 appearance. Not worried about that. Let's take a gamble on the youngster. Still finding his feet on the PGA Tour. Has one on the tour as well. $7,700. Let's go. Round 1 guy. All right. Me too. I like Burns this week, but for one and done. I just don't. The ownership's high. What is his bet? If you want to bet Sam Burns to win this tournament, you got to lay 25, 30 to 1. 30 to 1 is not terrible, actually, for him. But again, this is the week of the hundreds, my friend. We are going to be finding the values there. Do 5 more minutes and then we get the hell out of here. Let's find Jason Day and Johnny Kiefer. Why is Jason Day not popping for us in round 1? I know he's orange. I saw his name earlier. Holy cow. All the way down here. Jason Day in round 1. What is holding him back? Points. What is holding him back? Round 1 rating. Reasonable strokes gain total entering the week. Solid. It's just the round 1 strokes gain, not really getting him home. That seems weird. Anyway, Jason Day, ladies and gentlemen, very good course history across the board. So he's 7% owned. I believe I've got a comment for him. Kind of sneaky course history around here on all 3 courses. And he's got a 3rd place finish as one of his best at this venue. 22nd in the model ranking. What does that tell us? Not a whole lot, but at $8,100, 7% owned, I'll take it. I'll put him in one lineup of my 3. So not going to be. I need to investigate this round 1 rating for him. Why is it like so bad? Oh, it's because he's playing stadium course. Took me a long time to figure that one out. Okay. Because you are losing 2.5 rating points. So he would be 3.2 in this field, which is like right up here by SH Kim and Sepp and Akshay and Sam. But you know what I'm saying. Okay, good. Glad we figured that one out. Johnny Kiefer makes a ton of sense at this venue as well. Kiefer Reefer. We see Johnny Kiefer thrive in round 1. Absolutely. Gets La Quinta. So, I mean, hello there. Round 1 strokes gained. Absolutely. Make him pink for us to take advantage of. Checks 2 boxes at this venue. What would those be? It's obviously not course history. It's likely got to do with the finishing position totals. Let's see which boxes he checks. If we go finishing position totals, does he show up inside the first 20? Johnny Kiefer. What was his color again? I don't think he shows up in the first 20 there. He does. He actually does. So that's good to see. Johnny Kiefer obviously doing a lot of damage on the KFT with consistency. 7% win rate on the KFT and the Sony and the Utah Bank, whatever. We got a couple PGA events in here. Inside the top 20 on the KFT half the time. Great to see that. Inside the top 5, 1 in every 5 starts. So Johnny Kiefer doing some good stuff. You know, kind of gets it done across the board. Very impressive option. What is the other box he checks for us? Total finish, course history is not going to be doing that. Easy scoring conditions, absolutely. 1.8 strokes gained in easy scoring conditions. So Johnny Kiefer going to find his groove around this golf course? Let's hope so. Tons of distance off the tee. Inaccurate, so he's going to be out of the fairway. Not that much. Strokes gained approach is hurting him currently. But again, still gathering data for Johnny Kiefer. would like a better strokes gain total entering the year. Chandler Blanchet actually playing some better golf more recently. So why not just get Stadium Course over with in round 1? I don't mind that. Like, what do you mean? Like, get it done and then leave? I don't even know what that means. So, yes, here are your round 1 power rating, guys. Definitely going to be looking at a couple of these dudes for first round leaders on the various courses. It's obviously going to be some guys that we like on the Stadium Course. If they offer you that market, I want to get a combo of both. I want to get Alex Noren in round 1 is fantastic, but he's lost strokes around the Stadium Course historically. This guy, Adrian Demont de Jachart, gains a ton of strokes in round 1, has gained strokes around the Stadium Course in the past. Brian Harmon for a first round leader. So everyone plays the Stadium once before the cut. Yes. So I think, well, it's logistical, right? They can't all play the same course at the same time. There's too many of them. They won't get done in the same day, especially with all the partners and jabronis that they've got going on there. I think having the Stadium Course, either having played it, helps you bet people. And I think with people maybe heading to the Stadium Course, you can still maybe bet them if they have good course history there. But at the same time, it depends what the numbers are that the books are giving you. So you got to pay attention to those. If the value's there, grab it. If it's not, then don't. Brian Harmon will definitely be a Stadium Course round 1 leader. Let's go. Harry Hall, not the greatest around the Stadium Course, obviously a bit more ball striking necessary there than putting, which you can find at the other 2 venues. Stadium Course and good round 1 metrics. No, that's not going to do it. That's not going to do it. Kevin Roy, if you're kind of vibing with the guy that's showing up with some seriously good vibes, vibing with a guy that's got good vibes, why not? Rico Hoey, round 1 juggernaut, has typically struggled around here, potentially. I don't know. JT Poston, I mean, that's super interesting how he's been so bad around that course and dominated the other 2. Yeah, otherwise we would have seen a couple more guys with good combos of both show up in the ratings, but we don't have that yet. So, yeah. Fun times. Let's have a good day, friends. I'm getting bored of my own show. Hour and 32 minutes into it. Look at who's this? Ben Franklin. Where is he? I thought he was smiling at us. Oh, he's on the shoulder. I don't know. I'm seeing things as well now. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. I appreciate you for hitting the like, hitting the subscribe. Once we get first round leader markets out there, I'll release Breaking 100 this evening. Jump into the Model Maniac Patreon and Discord. We've got all these bets that I do as I drop them in there. As you can see, the closing line value was bizarre this week. Some really weird numbers out there. We'll be doing round showdown stuff after each round, doing some live ads. That's where the Chris Goddard outright came from. So we've got a totally different budget for live ads, which we tend to do a lot better at, it seems, because we go hard. That's where we find our edges. Showdown, live ads, where we've got all the data, we've got our own process, we've got all our tools. That's where we want to do the Lord's work. So fantastic stuff there. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and the way out. Have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday. I'll see you next week for the Farmers. Peace. Button. Push. Yes.